Dora. Dora. Dora, Dora, Dora.
Stop.
We explore.
Yeah.
Who let the dogs out?
El mape, por favor. Sí. Gracias. De nada. Por favor. Sí. Muy bien. Boots, do you see these perros? Dogs. Why do all the doggies look so different? Well, Boots, some traits get passed on to their offspring and some don't. That's called heredity. Then what's genetics? You see these big dogs? Yeah. Well, Boots, this is their child, Daisy Duke, and Daisy Duke is a puppy. Oh, I know, Dora. How are all of these related but look so different? You see how the parents have dark fur, but Daisy Duke has light fur? I do. Well, her parents are homozygous recessive, giving Daisy the 1/4 or 25% chance of having light fur. Dora, do you speak proteins? See, I do. Well, TAG, CAT, AUC, which is the RNA. Well, AUC is isoleucine, and GUA transcribes to valine. Ha ha ha, yes.
California.
Tell that, por favor. Sí. Gracias. De nada. Por favor. Muy bien. Look over there. Where? No, swiping. No. That's all the information from our journey. We need to take it back. Please, can we have it back?
What is the difference between you and I? What happens if I ran away and never came back? Maybe I'll go to the beach.
Well, you're an organism, which is part of a population inside a community which your biome withholds.
So,
Well, you will not have a niche by the ocean.
and I don't need a niche.
Your furry, dark-haired, stumpy, non-swimming body will not be able to withstand the ocean aquatic biome.
Why won't I fit in?
All the organisms have the right fitness and bone structure to live there.
What do you mean?
Well, your fur will make you not, your paws are not as effective as most aquatic animals, and your web feet.
I know, but I fit.
No. Fitness is when the fittest survive, then reproduce.
Okay. Where do cells come from?
There is a theory on endosymbiosis that explains the microorganisms inhabited the earth. The bigger the cell ate the mitochondria and the chloroplast, the bigger the cell function. Better those reproduce, splitting to create 2 new cells. The cell with mitochondria became animals and humans. The one with chloroplast became plant cells.
Wow, that's neat. Well, here's your backpack.
Gracias.
Peanut butter jelly time.
Time to eat lunch, Boots. What's the food made of? Well, bread is made of carbohydrates, and they are the main source of energy. What about the meat? Meat is a protein, and protein is the source of amino acids for cells. Wow, amino acids? Yes, and butter and oil are lipids. Lipids make cell membranes for the phospholipid bilayer. Why do we eat food? We eat food to get energy. All living things need energy. Even plants? Yes, even plants. Plants do not eat food though. They get energy through a process called photosynthesis. Photosynthesis? Yes. Oxygen enters to the stoma and water is delivered to the leaves from the root. The chloroplast in the chloroplast inside leaf cells absorb sunlight. What are the steps of photosynthesis? There are 2 main parts: light-dependent reaction and light-independent reaction. Light-dependent reactions happen when ATP is made. Light-independent reactions happen when ATP is used to make glucose. Cellular respiration also has a big role in making ATP. There are 3 steps of cellular respiration. First is glycolysis, is where glucose is split in 2 molecules of pyruvate. Second is the Krebs cycle, which produces NADH. Third is the electron transport chain, where electrons are carried by the NADH and passed to an electron transport chain, which results in the production of ATP.
So since we get energy from macromolecules, what then happens to the food?
Well, Boots, it goes a process called digestion. The process of digestion is food goes down the esophagus into the stomach, that's your stomach, through the intestines. The food is then made into feces.
So that's what happens to our food.
Well, and it moves into the rectum, where it temporarily is stored until it passes out the anus.
Ew!
Be mature. Yes, it is an all very important and plays a key role in keeping you healthy.
What is everything made of?
Well, you gotta be more specific.
I mean, what are you made of?
Cells, specifically animal cells. Look here.
Do plants have the same cells?
No, they have plant cells.
I mean, what's the difference?
An animal cell has centrioles, a small vacuole, and a sylva or flagella.
What about plant cells?
Well, you see, plant cells have a cell wall, chloroplast, and large vacuoles.
Why?
A plant cell, for example, has a cell wall. It needs this cell wall for structure, protection, and prevents water loss. Its rigid structure allows these functions.
Are there any other cells?
Well, other than plant and animal cells, also are which are known as eukaryotes, there are also prokaryotes.
What's the difference?
Prokaryotes are simple and do not have a nucleus. Bacteria is a prokaryote, and eukaryotic cells are complex cells and have a nucleus.
Ah, now I understand.
Yes, everything is made from another cell. Everything is made from cells, and cells are the basic unit of structure and function.
How do cells grow?
Cells go through the cell cycle in order to get big enough to divide.
What happens during the cell cycle?
Well, cells go through the phases of G1, where the cell grows and synthesizes proteins. Then it goes through the S phase, where DNA gets replicated. Next, it goes through G2, where the cell prepares for division. Finally, the cell goes through the M phases, where mitosis happens.
That all makes sense, except for that mitosis thing.
Mitosis is when one cell divides into two identical cells for growth and repair.
What happens during mitosis?
The cell goes through prophase, or chromatin condenses, then metaphase, where chromatids line up in the equator. Next is anaphase, where sister chromatids separate because spindle fibers pull them apart. Then telophase happens, where chromosomes move to opposite poles. And finally, cytokinesis happens, where the cytoplasm divides and two new identical cells form.
So all cells are the same thing?
No. That's where cell differentiation and stem cells come in.
Cell different what?
Cell differentiation. That means that cells change. Most of the time, it's when cells become more specialized. Those are called stem cells.
Oh, okay. What happens if something goes wrong and the cells divide or go through the cell cycle?
Sadly, that happens quite often. If a cell gets damaged, divides without a signal, or doesn't die, cancer is formed.
Oh no.
It is very sad, but some cancers are benign and are not dangerous. The ones that are dangerous are called malignant, and those can be treated and taken out.
Okay, good.
Go.
El mape, por favor. Gracias. To get to our final understanding of the characteristics of life, we must cross that bridge with that troll's guarding it.
Wait a minute. To pass my bridge, you must answer 2 questions.
Sure, anything.
What am I doing that pertains to a cell?
You are acting like a cell membrane and regulating who enters and exits your bridge.
Hey, good. Now tell me examples of homeostasis in your body.
Well, the left ventricle of the heart adapted to become stronger in order to enable it to pump blood through my body.
More, except about the environment.
A white moth turned dark gray in order to survive and maintain its environment. When it's camouflaged, it changed a different color.
You have satisfied me. Now you may pass my bridge.
Gracias.
Like a couple of Mexican sodium molecules.
Gracias.
This truck brings the baby to the hospital.
Alright, dudes, what's next on El Map?
Let's see.
Gracias.
De nada.
Por favor.
See.
Muy bien.
Let's see. How was I made, Dora?
To mama, eat papa produced you through a process called meiosis.
What's that?
Well, it starts with both of your parents having sexual intercourse.
What's that?
Let's not go into that topic. Anyways, now as your El Papa Day sperm cell invades one of your La Mama Day egg cells, it sparks the beginning of you. Once the egg is planted in your La Mama Day uterus,
What happens in your mama's egg cell?
your mom and dad's genetic information binds together and crosses over to exchange DNA info. After they finish crossing over, the cell divides and results in 2 new cells. However, these cells have both your mom and dad's genetic info. Half of 2 madres, half of 2 padres.
Oh, it's starting to make sense.
No, he, termito, todavia. I'm not done yet.
What are the 8 stages?
The first stage, prophase 1, is where the chromosomes pair with its corresponding homologous chromosome, forming many tetrads. Next, the chromosomes separate by spindle fibers that pull the tetrads apart. These stages are called metaphase 1 and anaphase 1.
That's awesome.
This next part is where the one cell splits into 2 new haploid cells, telophase 1 and cytokinesis.
Alright, that's cool.
The 5th stage is repeating the process just without DNA replication and crossing over. The entire process of meiosis ends with 4 new haploid cells.
What happens to all 4 cells?
Unfortunately, 3 of the 4 cells are polar bodies and do not live, but the one that survives carries on to become you.
It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see